Hi, I'm Kevin,
And I'm Amanda.
and we are serving up
All that jam.
All That Jam, Quick Hit. Getting to know Molly Miller.
We are joined today by Dr. Molly Miller, who is a guitarist, has played with Jason Mraz, Black Eyed Peas, and Sin Bandera. Is that correct, Molly?
Sin Bandera, they're a big Latin band. They're a marvelous
That you
duet.
that you work with. And how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm like today. It feels like it's like a work day. I'm like booking flights and talking merch, and I did get a Pilates class in. But yeah, it's good.
Very nice. That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
picked up
So
my
so why don't we
guitar.
go
Yeah.
way back?
Okay, cool.
I hear that you started playing guitar at 7. What drew you to the guitar?
Yes, okay. So I'm the middle of five children, and my parents, we grew up in just suburbia, and they are doctors, and I think they wanted a more, I don't know, atypical, less conventional life for their children. So they started a family band. So we were ages like 3 to 11, and I was 7, and we just converted the living room to a band room. And it wasn't like, I don't remember asking, can I play the guitar? I'm going to ask my parents. I'm going to see them tonight and be like, did I ask to play the guitar? Like, how was I given guitar? Because I've been thinking about it lately, and I need to ask them. But yeah, I started playing guitar, and that was basically my childhood. Like, we did daily band practices, we gig around town, we play local street fairs and private parties and school whatever talent shows, and that was like 7 to 14. And then it was more like rock bands with friends and jazz band and playing with my yeah. Eventually, two of my sisters quit, and my two brothers kept playing music, and I still play with actually with both of them. One of my little brother Sam is a professional drummer. We play all the time. But yeah, so then so that's how it started.
And what was the name of the band with your family? Was it the Miller Family Band?
Oh my God. I wish it was the Miller Family Band. It's actually so embarrassing. And we really like drill my parents about it sometimes. Our name was Underage. And it was like, it feels so inappropriate. I'm like, you guys had a bunch of kids on stage, called them Underage, but this is a secret I have not let out in the public. You just caught me. Yeah.
Well,
Oh
different time, right? Things
my God.
maybe were probably not looked at the same way, as they would be now. So,
Yeah, we were in like a less internet-y time, that's for sure. It was just like AOL back then, and not even AIM chat. So less internet. So at least, yeah,
yeah.
underage. All I have left over is like a jean jacket that says underage on the back. It's
Oh, wow. I love it.
yeah.
That's fantastic. All right, before we dive, I guess, into the music, you're an educator besides a musician too, right?
Yes,
So is that where the doctor comes from?
it is. I have a doctorate of musical arts in guitar performance. Yes, I went to USC in for my undergraduate degree, and I stayed for 9 years and got 3 degrees while I was there. And I actually teach there now, so it's like full circle. And I actually went to a summer camp there, so it's been like since I was 17. I feel like I've been at USC, which is a great thing. I love it there. But yeah, so I'm a professor. I was teaching at Los Angeles College of Music before. I was running the guitar department, and then just over 2 years ago, I started teaching at USC. So yeah, it feels like school years. It's like I'm teaching, and then I gig. I'll do some sessions, be out of town a little bit, and then every summer I'm just like gone all summer. It's kind of been my life the last bit. Yeah.
Well, that's a good. It's apparently it's a degree that works. I got a degree in poetry, so I sell
I'm
real estate.
You know what? I'm sure you are poetic when speaking about the houses, and it comes in handy. You never know.
Exactly. Yeah. Try to work it. Work the
Yeah,
pitch there.
you got to work what you got.
So you, I guess, you Molly Miller Trio. started first, right, in 2017 before you jumped in with like Jason Mraz and all that?
Everything sort of happened the same time. Yeah, I finished with my DMA, my doctorate in 2016. And like just probably a year or so before, I started playing a bunch with my trio, Jennifer Condos and Jay Bellerose, who are freaking legends. If you don't know them, go check them out. Um, and yeah, I was probably playing with them starting in like 2015, but the trio wasn't really like birthed properly. I feel like for another year or two, we would like play a little bit, but then it became more official when we made a record in, I guess, 2017. I think I like actually have to look, but yeah. And then Jason, I started playing with Jason. I like graduated, and like a month after I graduated, he hit me up to see if I would play with him. So yeah, like that, I feel like I graduated, and within that next year, I started touring with Jason Mraz. I started teaching and running the guitar department at Los Angeles College of Music, and my trio was birthed, and I like had a record out in the world as my trio. So yeah, I think I
Yeah.
felt very impatient before that. You know, before that I was gigging and doing all the like the late night bars and corporate gigs and playing for artists at like Hotel Cafe, and every now and then doing travel stuff like South by Southwest or whatever. But I was kind of like ready to like to move my legs more. And then I graduated, and it all kind of worked out.
I have the Shabby Road recordings was 2017, and then the album with Jason No was 2018.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do you had these two things working at the same time? How do you approach them differently? Molly Miller, I guess you're in front. Jason, he's in front.
Yeah. I mean, I think like a lot of the same principles. Jason, I feel fortunate. So first off, like Jason is a unique artist, and I feel so lucky because he's like, you do you. You know, he's not like go play the exact thing on the record. He's like, I don't know, let's do it different every night. Like, do your thing. Like, and he's been such a supporter. My records coming out actually on his label, his indie label, and Terabang. And when does this podcast come out?
I do several episodes, so if we have something that's time sensitive, I will put that part out.
Yeah. Well, next week we it's going to be announced that I'm opening for Jason this summer too. So like Jason's super supportive. I've done some opening for him before, but this is like more proper. So yeah, like playing for Jason I think is different than playing for other artists where he is very much like do your thing. But of course, ultimately it's different for a couple of reasons. Like the band's way bigger, so I have to, you know, it's like I need to create more space than I normally would in a trio where I'm kind of like the running. I feel like it's actually collaborative, but you know, I'm like the front, I'm the main melodic voice. And then also he's the boss. So I may think something's cool and he may be like, hey, stop doing that thing. And it's not like I'm going to be like, well, I like it. You know, I'm like, okay, you're the boss. It's your songs.
Yeah, I'd read an interview where you mentioned the hierarchy for that kind of situation. Have you had other experiences that were different? And you don't need to say who, but it's so obvious, you know, how grateful you are for that experience, and I love that that is the case. Have there been other times where maybe you didn't feel like you could have that kind of authenticity in your playing?
Yes, for sure. I mean, for the most part, at this point in my career, I feel pretty fortunate that the people I play with, I think, are hiring to me to be me. And of course, I play guitar parts, and like I'm appropriate for their song because it's not, it's ultimately like I'm there to support them, but they're hiring me to support them. And I definitely have had situations where two things, like one, yeah, I'm supposed to just play the record, which is totally cool, and I could do that, but if the music's good and everything else is cool, like I'm always happy to do that. But I do love a space where you can interact with people like moment to moment and be super present with them, where things can shift slightly, where you're allowed to take a left turn even though you were thought you were going to take a right turn, like those sorts of things. I really enjoy having the opportunity to do that too in a live situation. So yeah, I've definitely had situations, whether, and like the other thing, like Jason's so sweet and like you do you, and sometimes artists are jerks, and I try to filter that stuff out. But yeah.
Jason Mraz, you were with him for a couple years. In between, you released something that jumped out at me called Disney Peaceful Guitar. What was
Yes.
that all about?
Yes. So during the pandemic, it was like this like merger of like 3 companies that I got asked to participate in, which I was stoked. It was so Disney wanted to do 3 acoustic renditions of their Disney songs. Um, and Taylor Guitars was like a part of a release with Taylor Guitars, and they were doing like a special Disney Mickey Mouse acoustic, and then it was like going to be released on at Guitar Center. So it was like Disney Guitar Center and Taylor Guitars all together. And it was so fun. Like I also like, of course, I love the trios place, love space, love playing with artists, but solo guitar arrangements is also something I really enjoy doing. And I had just put out I think it was a nightingale sang in Barclay Square. I think that was the song I had done. And then someone over at Taylor, an A&R person, reached out, was like, would you want to do this thing for Disney? I was like, would I? Heck yeah. I mean, like, I'm human. I love Disney, right? So yeah, so I got to choose 3 different songs and make the arrangements and record them, and it was super fun. So yeah, I'm gonna try actually this year to put out some more solo guitar arrangements that are just for me, not for Disney, but because I really love doing them.
It's kind of being all out there, though, huh? When it's just
Oh my
solo,
God.
nothing to hide behind, huh?
You know what? There is something I love about that. Well, sometimes it's like, yeah, it's scary. I don't have anyone to protect me. And it is when I get most anxious if I'm going to be performing and it's just me alone. That's when my voices can in my head get real loud. But at the same time, God, there's so much freedom. And like, I sort of love it's like, you're so vulnerable. It's like you're naked in front of a bunch of people and there's like nothing you can do. And I don't know, I sort of love that adrenaline that can hit too. And the of like I'm out here. So yeah.
I was curious about the LA music scene, you being from there, when so
Mm-hmm.
many people, of course, head that way to make their careers. How is the scene? Is it supportive? I live in Denver, so we have a very thriving live music scene. Kevin's in Baltimore. What are things like out there now, especially post pandemic? Do you feel like it's kind of gotten back to where you would expect it to be?
Yeah, I mean, I might have answered differently like a month ago, but 2 things. One, I love being from LA, and I feel like I have an advantage because I have, been working with some of the people since I was in high school, middle school.
Mhm.
I've known some of these people doing like jazz arts combos and whatever that now I do gigs with still. It is a super supportive scene. And what I say about LA, which I think is true for the music world and for all of it, is like you can make LA whatever you want it to be, where there's every type of opportunity musically speaking, cuisine wise, like you can
Mhm.
go to the ocean, you can go to the mountains, you could like there's everything you could want. So I think you can really create your own destiny here in a sort of uh real a bigger way. And yeah, the scene is super supportive. I feel very tapped in and appreciative of my musician friends and community here. Before the pandemic, I feel like it was kind of insane. Like I was out, and I kid you not, 7 nights a week, maybe one night a month, maybe I would be home, just because there was so much music every night. I mean, I was gigging probably 3-4 nights a week, and then I'd go to a show after or see a show on a night off, just because like the community is so thriving and there was so much amazing music. And now I would say I go out and see music at, probably once or twice a week when it's not my own gig. It's not quite as thriving as it was, but I do feel like actually for the first time in a while, there is more bubbling. There's more venues and new spaces that are popping up. Like I've been playing at like this spot, Justine's Wine Bar, a bunch. They have music now 2 nights a week. Healing Force of the Universe, this new record store that has great music like most days of the week now. There's a bunch of venues. I'm playing this weekend at 1642, which is a little wine bar. So there's like bigger shows, but now I do feel like there's more of these like little venues that are just artists that want to play, that also do big tours and have bigger shows, but just, want to spend a Wednesday night playing a gig and making music. So there are more venues than what I'm naming right now. Like I play at Verse with my trio a bunch, and yeah. So, and
How
Bakari,
did
sorry.
how did COVID and quarantine affect you as a musician that you could no longer play live?
Yeah, I mean, the first couple months I was just inconsolably upset inside my soul. You know, like my little brother and I ended up quarantining. I live in LA. My parents are like 30, 45 minutes in a suburb, probably like, yeah, 45 minutes to an hour from a suburb for me. So I ended up moving with them because I was living with my sister at the time and she's a doctor. So I did, yeah. So for a multitude of reasons, being COVID, I like moved down to my parents' house. And also my brother's a drummer. So while it was horrible, it was also this really special time where the world stopped. I had so many, as everyone, like all these tours that were canceled. I was supposed to like fly to Hawaii the next day to do like a 3-week tour with a couple different artists and like, but like uh, it ended up being like a really special time. I spent a lot of time playing music with my brother and we did a ton of just live streams, and just playing just guitar and drums is such a cool thing. Because it's also similar to that solo guitar thing where like you're a little more vulnerable. I don't have the bass helping me out, that like extra support I'm used to. And harmonically, I'm the only one making the decisions. So there's a lot of freedom. And like me and him would do just like improvise, like free jams. We'd also work on his tunes and my tunes. So we started doing weekly live streams and plus others on top of that. So while it took a minute to get it kind of rolling, I started doing like sometimes like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 live streams in a week with my brother. And that was kept me sane. I think I don't know what I would have done without that. And I was also working on this record that is coming out right now with Jen and Jay virtually. So I feel like my days would be like, I'd wake up and go for a hike and then like practice guitar and work on tunes for the record and send Jen and Jay ideas or record something that, yeah, we were working on together. And then I'd like go play music with my brother and do a live stream and teach a few lessons. And like, yeah, like that was my COVID, you know, it was like online teaching, a ton of live streams and working on this record. And so like, relatively speaking, I feel like I was pretty lucky because I got to evolve in ways that I'm really happy about.
Your brother is Sammy?
Sammy, yeah.
So Sammy Miller and the Congregation is his band?
Yeah, and I'll play with them sometimes too. But yeah, so they tour around and I can't make all the gigs, but we just played in LA, and yeah, I love when I get to play with him because it's like, you know, like that whole blood harmony thing. I feel like I have that with my brother. It's like we've been playing together since we were 5 and 7. It's like
you were underage.
We were underage. Hey, totally. You know, like, so playing with him yeah. So I feel so spoiled. Like my drummers are like Jay Bellerose, Steve Haas, who's incredible, Elizabeth Goodfellow, Tamir Barzilai, and Sammy, my brother. Like all of I get to play with like some of the best drummers in my opinion. So.
If you are enjoying All That Jam, please like and subscribe to our social media channels at All That Jam Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or visit our website, allthatjampod.com. Make sure to sign up for our email list and tune in every week for new episodes.
Also, look for full interviews on our YouTube channel. And remember, stay beautiful, but don't stay underground too long.